I mean, like, one of the hardest parts about being pregnant after you lose a baby is that, like, everybody around you, they're like all happy and excited, but you're constantly trying to fight the negative thinking, the negative thoughts. It's definitely anxiety included in it, because it's like you want to get happy, you want to get excited, but then you're nervous because you're like, well, something could happen like it happened last time. Hey everyone, welcome to our channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're already subscribed. As you see, we have a family update. We are expecting, I am pregnant, and we're gonna get into all that. I cannot wait to do videos and vlogs in regards to that, but I can't just jump into that without giving y'all an update. I don't even feel right, okay? So I would be doing an update. I'm gonna try to vlog the little baby shower we're having. It's not gonna be a big baby shower. It's just gonna be something small for friends and family. The nursery, I'm gonna try to do a labor and delivery vlog and just updates in regards to having 3 kids, mommy life, family life. Like, I will be updating y'all. I want to get back active on this page, but again, I definitely want to give you guys an update. Okay, so I am due November 9th, and it's a lot of differences in this pregnancy because we did lose a prior pregnancy. So I'm going to go ahead and get into that. Okay, so it's definitely a lot of differences when you were currently expecting and then you lost the baby and then you get pregnant again. Like, it's so different for me. I didn't even allow myself to get excited at first because I didn't know what was going to happen. It's kind of hard to talk about. So I was originally, before this pregnancy, I was originally expecting in April of 2021. And even when I found out, I was expecting at first, when I took a pregnancy test, I'm like, oh, you know what? We're expecting our 3rd baby. Cool. This is exciting. But what's weird about it is, like, when I took the pregnancy test, the lines wasn't that dark. And I know that's not a big deal for most people, but usually my lines are pretty dark, and my pregnancy line wasn't dark. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm taking it too early. So that was like the first, I want to say, internal clue that I knew something was a little off. But of course, like I said, it's not a big deal because there's a lot of people who get fake pregnancy tests, but I never have until that pregnancy. Then I started to notice that I felt a little nauseous, but I wasn't as nauseous as I usually get with my pregnancies. When I'm pregnant, I am very sick. Like, throwing up, nausea, all of that consists within all the way from 6 weeks to like 12 weeks or 11 weeks. I'm always very sick. And like, when that 6th week came around, I wasn't feeling sick. And I was like, well, maybe this pregnancy, I'm just not going to have to get sick, But again, that was another internal sign, like something could be off, but I don't know, And then I set my doctor's appointment and all of that. And they were asking me questions. They set an appointment for me to come in. So I went in to get my first ultrasound. And then when I went in to get my first ultrasound, I'm not going to get emotional. I'm not going to do it. When I went in to get my first ultrasound, y'all, I was not obviously expecting it to go the way it went. Like, I've always got ultrasounds. Like, I obviously have 2 other kids, like I always get ultrasounds. So I'm laying there, she's talking, she's being nice. She's putting the gel on me, and then we're just like talking, having a conversation. But then she like stares at the screen, like she's looking at the screen, and she's like, like what's going on, And I'm like, wondering like, why is she just looking at the screen, you know? Like, we just having a dead on conversation, and she just gets quiet, like looking at the screen. And she was like, you know what, I don't see a heartbeat. I can't find a heartbeat. And pause, I'm sorry, I should have included this before, so just pause on that. A week before that, I had some spotting, and it was just like a little bit like brown spotting. And I went to the emergency room, and they did an ultrasound on me, and they said that everything's good. The baby's heart was beating. This was like when the baby was 7 weeks. They was like, oh, everything's good, the heart's beating. If you're spotting, that's common in pregnancy. And remind you, like, I had a feeling something was off because I've been pregnant before and this has never happened to me. But what can I say if they see the baby in front of them and the heart's beating, you know? So they sent me home. They said everything was good, the heart was beating, etc. But again, I was nervous because of the spotting. So fast forward back to the office visit. She's doing an ultrasound, and she's like, I don't see the heartbeat. And then my heart just stopped. Like, wait a minute, what do you mean you don't see a heartbeat? Like, I just went to the emergency room the week prior and they had a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of threw me off guard, and it confused me because I'm like, no, something's not right. Like, there has to be a heartbeat. So I'm just waiting and waiting. And she's standing there, and she's like looking for it, and she's looking for it. And she didn't see it. And then she was like, I'll be right back. And she stepped out the room, and it had me nervous. Like, I didn't know what to do. I was just standing there, and I didn't know what to do, because I'm like, this just doesn't make sense, you know? Like, I'm just trying to process everything in my head, because this has never happened to me before. So she goes back in the room. I think she did it one more time to try to see if she could find anything. And then she's like, I'm sorry, but it looks like the baby's heart stopped beating at like 7 weeks and something. Like, I'm sorry. The heart was supposed to, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting emotional. The baby was supposed to be like 8 weeks. The baby was supposed to grow and be like 8 weeks and something. I'm sorry. The baby was supposed to be like 8 weeks and something, and she ended up being like 7 weeks. And I say she because I really feel like it was a girl. Like, I don't know why, y'all. I just really feel like it was a girl. Even though I didn't know the gender yet, obviously. But I just felt like it was a girl for some reason. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to get myself together. So the baby at that time was supposed to be like 8 weeks and something, I want to say. And then they said the baby stopped growing at like 7 weeks and something. So again, that was traumatizing for me because never been through that before. And she had to send me into another room. And then when she sent me to the other room, it was like I want to say a counselor in a way, because she's like the nursing staff, but she's also a counselor, and she talks to you about next steps and stuff like that. So I was sitting there with her, and I was trying not to, like, while she's having a conversation with me, like, it's just tears going down my eyes, because it's like, I'm trying to have this conversation with you, but I don't want to have this conversation with you, because like right now I just found out that I'm no longer expecting, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is a lot to process. And then I have to have a conversation with you about next steps. Like, I wasn't ready for that. But she was trying to be as helpful as possible, you know, trying to talk me through it, giving me tissues, trying to help me, you know. And I told her that I would go ahead and get the surgery done, because they gave you the option of doing like a DNC, which is surgery to get the baby out, letting it miscarriage naturally, or I think those were the only two options they gave me, actually. Or the pill, I'm sorry, or the pill, taking the pill and then letting it come out that way. And I decided to do the surgery. And when I texted my supervisor right away, because I was telling her what was happening, because I wasn't going to come back to work that day, because I was supposed to leave and come back. And I told her what happened, and she actually has been through that. So she was trying to talk to me, help me, guide me. And she said, girl, you know, just do the DNC. I've done that before. She said it's easier to get everything out, you know. And I was like, okay. So like I said, I did the DNC, and then they scheduled the surgery for me. And plus I wanted to do it because my anniversary was like in the next 2 weeks. And I didn't want to go through that while I was on my anniversary because, I'm sorry, because we already planned on going out of town. We were going to California that year. So I didn't want to, of course, be bleeding a whole lot or going through any type of miscarriage while we're on our anniversary, you know. So I ended up scheduling that, and then I left. And then when I was in the car, I just was crying. Like, I was just upset. I was crying. I texted my mom. I think I texted my sister. I called my husband. I was like fretting to call him. I didn't want to call him because I feel like I was going to get emotional, but he was at home watching the kids while I went to my doctor's appointment. So I did want to call him to give him an update. So I called him, and, you know, he was, of course, upset, concerned, like, how did that happen? You know, I don't know. Of course, we still to this day don't know how it happened. So that next Monday, which was like a week later, we went into surgery at like 6 in the morning, got my surgery done, was knocked out, and then that was it. And I just want to quickly say that if you have a friend or a family member who is going through something like this, please know what to say to them, because a lot of y'all don't know what to say to them. Like, don't say things like, oh, well, at least you have other kids, or at least, you know, like, this happened for a reason. Like, I know that probably sounds helpful, but it's not at the time, especially if somebody has kids. Like, for me, I could have 10 kids, and if I lost one, it still does not matter. That's still a child I lost. You understand? So it's like, learn how to talk and say things, you know, and then give people time. If people don't want to talk about it, they don't have to talk about it, okay? Because I didn't want to talk about it. Like, I didn't want to talk to friends. I don't want to talk to family. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just wanted to, you know, like, process everything, get through everything, you know? So give your loved ones who has went through this, friends and family, give them that time to really talk about this, and at their own timing, when they're ready. Don't force them, don't rush them. Like, as long as you know they're good, they're fine, they're okay, don't try to force them to talk about it. They'll talk about it when they're ready, because it is hurtful for a lot of us. It is traumatic for a lot of us, especially if we've never been through that before. Like me, nobody in my family has ever been through this. My mom, sister, they all had their third pregnancies fine. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And what's crazy about that is that after that happened, it was just like a lot of stuff that I went through. We went through as a couple. It was just a lot, you know? And yeah. But anyway, that was that story. But we ended up going out of town, celebrating our anniversary, and then, you know, life just went on, you know? So I just try to think about the good things and appreciate the things I do have in my life, like my children, my family, friends, all of that. So that's what I went back to focusing on, you know, but I don't think I ever at that time, especially, truly healed from that or talked about it, you know, or processed it, because it was a lot. And sometimes I still do get triggered. And actually, I think October is like loss awareness month. So another reason is a good reason to make this video. So yeah. So with that being said, with this new pregnancy, very different because I was nervous. I was so nervous. Like, first of all, I found out I was pregnant, which is great. I'm like, woo, good, you know, because we did want another baby. So I found out I was pregnant. But I cannot lie, those negative thoughts and anxiety definitely crossed my head multiple times because they don't know why I lost it in the first place, you know. My OB was like, you know, sometimes when our bodies don't do what it needs to do to make the babies, then it will reject the baby basically so that the baby doesn't have any like complications and stuff, if that makes sense. But and like I said, I had a feeling something was off because it didn't feel like my other pregnancies, but I just didn't want to think about it. But with this pregnancy, I was nervous, I was worried, and I didn't want to tell nobody. And some family got it, some family didn't. And y'all, again, as family, as friends, y'all have to respect people's privacy, especially people who have been through something like that. I did not share my pregnancy until 8 months because, again, it's nerve-wracking. You know what I'm saying? It brings up still some past trauma from the past pregnancy. So I needed time. I needed time before people say, oh, I'm happy for you, congratulations. So that I knew it was not going to be in the first trimester that I was going to share at all. Like, I knew that. I wanted to wait as long as possible. Honestly, I wanted to make sure everything was going to be safe. I wanted to make sure I was in the right mental and emotional space before I shared it. So yeah, y'all, it's just not easy because it's like, before that happened to me, the miscarriage, like if I got pregnant, I didn't think those thoughts. Like, I was excited to share with people. I was not thinking bad or negative or anything. But when you go through something like that, sometimes it does change your perceptive on being pregnant. Like, I was nervous. I was like, well, what if something happens? You know, I was nervous and dreading my first OB appointment. Like, I was so nervous because getting an ultrasound done after you went through that first experience, I was too nervous. Like, I didn't even want to get an ultrasound, y'all. Like, I wanted to make sure the baby's heartbeat was okay, but I was dreading getting an ultrasound because I'm like, what if the heartbeat's not there? You know, like, it was nerve-wracking, y'all. Like, so nerve-wracking. So again, just have patience with people who've been through stuff like that. Like, you never know what they're going through. So just have patience with them. Let them share at their own pace, you know, let them do things at their own pace. Especially if you've never been through it, then you really don't know what it feels like, you know? So yeah, y'all, but luckily I've been blessed. I always pray, you know. I feel like I have a very good spiritual relationship within myself. My grandma passed probably about, I want to say like about 6 years ago. She passed. And what's funny is I would have dreams about her. And anytime I feel down or discouraged, I might talk to her or ask her to give me advice. And, you know, she has definitely came in my dreams and encouraged me and gave me advice even towards this pregnancy. It's crazy. And the reason I said that I think the last one was a girl is because before I even got pregnant with this baby, I had a dream that there was a little girl. I don't know, it seems like I was in like a spiritual realm, and I was holding my daughter's hand, Brazil, my oldest, and there was this other girl that came up to us. She had like 2 ponytails and she looked just like Brazil, and she held her hand, and we just looked at her because she looked like us. And I'm like, I feel like that could have been my first pregnancy, you know? So I kind of felt like it was a girl, but I don't know. I feel like it was though. But we definitely are having a girl this time. I'm going to include all the maternity pictures, and yeah, I'm gonna vlog the whole process. I'm gonna vlog the baby shower. I'm gonna try to. It's just something small for my family and close friends. The nursery, I'm excited to vlog that for you guys. I'm gonna try to do the labor and delivery vlog, like I said, and then, you know, we'll do updates, family updates as they come. But I wanted to give you guys this update before all that happens so you can know kind of like what's been going on, where have we been, why I'm doing this video by myself. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you are interested in the process, make sure that you subscribe, like, comment. If you've been through something like this, definitely comment. And if you're excited to go on this journey with me, again, make sure you subscribe, because I'm gonna try to update and stay consistent as much as I can on this page. And I also have my own channel too. It's called Zodiac Zena. I'm going to put that in the description box. So if you're like interested in spirituality or astrology, things like that, zodiac signs, make sure you check out my personal channel too. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.